So I want to go to Lane Kiffin, who's fascinating. He's coached in college multiple spots. He coached in the NFL. And right now, there are a lot of people that think this is the most underrated team in college football, the only team that's top 5 in offense and defense. And Lane, it's unique. You've coached on the West Coast. You coached in the NFL. You've coached in the South. You've coached small college football. What I find fascinating is that you went heavy into the NIL and bought star players. And now I have to ask you, because I'm seeing a lot of coaches struggle with this, and you're not. How do you build chemistry and culture when you kind of went the free agent route in college football? You've done it. Other teams are struggling with it. How did you do it in the transfer portal NIL world?
Well, Colin, that's a lot of work. You know, and I think some trial and error, you know, when it first started. And I kind of looked at professional sports, not just football, but like basketball, that just because you put together free agent teams that seem like they should be good on paper, you see it all the time in basketball, and then they don't make the playoffs, don't play well because on paper it was. So we spent a lot of time as we put together these players, who they were. You know, you can't buy culture. You can buy players, but you can't buy culture. So to me, we had to have a culture set, then we had to get the right guys, and also even look at even within a position group, you know, a guy, how does that guy fit from a culture standpoint, and what do we have in the room in case the guy's not great culture, that we can still manage him well enough so that he plays well and fits into the team, because everybody's not perfect. So
you're obviously a very clever offensive coach, but under Saban, you probably stole a trick or two, because your Ole Miss team is a sack machine. Did you take, I mean, you've become somebody, and this isn't everybody. You're an offensive guy, but yet your defense feels like you pay attention to it. Is some of that a little Saban influence possibly, or Pete Carroll?
Well, I think, number one, that's really good players. We have much better defensive players than we had at the beginning when we got here. And so it's taken some time to do that. We did take Nick Saban's coordinator and Pete Golding, so we got that system. So you are right on that part. And Pete Golding's done an amazing job with these guys schematically as we put together these pieces that some were here last year. Some decided to come back instead of go to the NFL. And then we obviously brought some in, as your highlights there show, Princely, brought in a lot of players. And that started with that Georgia game a year ago.
Yeah.
You know, Georgia beat us pretty bad. And it was very obvious to me from the beginning of the game, we didn't look like they did. And our line of scrimmages were not like theirs. And they bullied us and really looked at it. Hey, if you're going to beat the bully, you got to kind of become the bully. And so we got a lot of players that are bigger, longer, stronger, faster to fit that mold and not just try to outscore people.
You know, I said
at the end of the day, these guys like Princely, as you see there on that clip, they end games.
Yeah.
So we kind of looked at it from an NFL model too, of like, okay, where are we going to put our energy in recruiting? Where are we going to pay certain positions? And much different than traditional offensive teams that, you know, load up on offense. We said, no, we got to make sure we have defensive linemen, and we got to make sure that we got some ends that can close out games. So when we take these guys to the end, they're there to finish them. And ironically, Princely was not available for the LSU game, and he didn't play in the fourth quarter of the Kentucky game, both times needing fourth down pass rushes to stop him.
I want to touch this before we go. Ole Miss takes on Florida. This team, many believe, is the dark horse to win it all. Lane, if you decided tomorrow, let's say you go to the national championship, win or lose, you would be the number one free agent, offensive mind, going to the NFL. You will be offered a job, absolutely. Why wouldn't you take it?
This is really neat. In order, you know, the way to build college teams now has become like the NFL, from evaluation, obviously paying players, putting together your roster, but you still have the really neat college elements of the fans and the passion and the small towns. And so I really enjoy where we're at. I really like it. I really like that also when you win. The thing that I don't like about the NFL, when you win, you kind of get punished. You draft last. When you win more in college, you're able to go get better players because now they see, man, I can go there and win championships. I can go there and beat Georgia. So we've spent a lot of time to get it up to this place. that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
You've leaned into the social media. I think it's great. Nick, by the way, and you, people can look and say, oh, they fought, but there's such an obvious mutual respect between you two. We've only got 45 seconds left. I do think you're the unique combination. Are you worried at all if you get in? Your first game could be up in 9 degrees in Columbus or 9 degrees in Penn State. You're a guy, you know Southern Cal, the South. Is that a real thing out there, a real concern? Southern teams heading north in December.
Yeah, and I'm just going to speak in general, not, because we got a lot of games left. We got 2 games left. We got to win. But, yeah, that's a concern, just like the old days of Tampa Bay going up to Green Bay.
Yeah.
And, that's a concern that people will have and that they're not used to at all. Where sometimes in the NFL, you've played throughout the year up there. The South teams haven't. So, the good answer to that is play really well in your games, perform really well at the end of the season so that you end up playing at home.
Yes, it sounds simple, but it is the SEC. They're at Florida this weekend. Watch Ole Miss. It is NFL bodies. It is creative offense. They have an NFL quarterback. 30 seconds left, Jaxson Dart. He's 6'2". He's got an arm. I saw him play at a camp one time. Is he a first-round pick to you?
He's an amazing leader. He really helped put no player I've ever seen. He helped put this roster together in the offseason. He was on the phone with a rush in, with a right corner, helping putting this team together because he's like, I'm coming back. I want to do something really special. So somebody's going to get a really special player and a really special leader.
That's great. I love hearing that. We're watching some Jaxson Dart.
Awesome.
Look at that throw. Holy God, that's a good throw. Lane Kiffin, you look good. Good luck. Gainesville is crazy and amazing. Is that at home? Are you Ole Miss? Are you at home or your road this week? Let's see what it is.
We are in the swamp. Noon kickoff.
That's loud.
9 a.m. your time.
It's loud, dude. I've been to the swamp. It's loud. You better tell your team it's loud. Hope you give them a heads up on that.
I will. I've been there.
Lane Kiffin. Great seeing you.
We played against Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer there. It was really loud. They were number 1 in the country.
Thanks, Lane. Good luck to Ole Miss. 8-2, 9 in the college football playoff, and he has built something special. Offense and defense, NFL quarterback, Lane Kiffin. Great stuff. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.